Hey, game changers. Today we're going to dive into your brand story. So I know a lot of you are content creators and speakers, and you're trying to figure out how to navigate this story thing. Well, I'm going to help you out in this video. My name is Jay Stone. I am the brand mother. I help entrepreneurs build bankable brands. So like, comment, share, and subscribe. When you subscribe, hit the notification bell so you can get all my new videos. Let's get into it. All right, so we're back. Let's talk about this brand story. So first and foremost, why do you need a brand story? So write this down. Number one, you need a brand story to build trust, right? People trust other people who they can relate to, who they feel is human, who they feel that they can make some sort of connection with, right? So you want people to trust you if you want them to spend any kind of money with you. Okay, so that's number one. You want them to trust you. Number two is you want to communicate authenticity. I mean, it's like authenticity is the new gold, right? You trade authenticity for money. You trade authenticity for opportunities. You trade authenticity for everything, right? If you're fake, it does not play well. Why? Why is authenticity so important? Number one, because back in the day, we used to do great photos and great videos and create all this pizzazz, and then nobody could trust you, right? People wouldn't deliver what they said. They were shady. And so consumers have gotten smarter, right? And so now they don't want just the pretty picture. They want someone who's real. They want someone who's honest. They want someone who, again, they can trust. The other thing that's happened is over the years, we've developed what? Reality TV. So reality TV, people are not starting to see, hey, look at the Kardashians. Their life is just as much a mess as mine. I can relate to that. I trust these people, right? Keeps coming back to trust. Are you seeing a theme here? See what I did? There's a theme there. All right. So then we had the rise of social media. Again, people sharing their stories, sharing their lives, sharing them in public. So why is it that you feel that you can build a brand and still wear a mask? You know, you look like this. Nobody wants to work with someone who's wearing a mask that they can't trust. Okay. So trust. Number one is trust. And number two is authenticity. These are the reasons that we need to tell our story. Now, let's shift and get into the whole story thing. All right. So if you're over 25 years old, some of us, even when you're younger than that, you've probably got what I call several stories. So think of your story as a book, right? Books have chapters. So there's chapters to your story. Ta-da! Right? So I think people get really confused because they think there's just one story to tell. There's just one chapter. There's not, right? So there's probably a reason that you do what you do, right? So you probably have had some sort of tragedy and then you overcame it, and that's the triumph. See, tragedy and triumph, and those things lead to a story because you got a specific result. And if you're selling that specific result, all right, then that's the story that you're using at that moment. Okay, I'll give you an example. So I talked about how I shut my company down all the way back in 2014. You know, my family lost millions of dollars in the market. Now let's talk about the millions of dollars. It's not like I'm sitting around sitting on money, a millionaire. It's not like this jewelry. These diamonds ain't real, honey. This is paparazzi. Okay, just so you know, right? My family, I didn't come from a lot of money. My father was in an accident. He became a quadriplegic, and we got a settlement, right? So we took the settlement, invested the settlement into the stock market, and then the stock market kind of went haywire back in like 2008, right? So we lost our home, we lost our money, we lost everything. And we had to move into this little property that we were renting out. Okay. And then in 2014, I had to relaunch my branding business, which I had decided I was going to take a hiatus from, right? And become this great, baby Oprah Jr. kind of person. So once the bottom fell out and we needed money, I had to reopen my branding agency. And the first year in the branding agency, I made $30,000. Okay. Right. We started in 2014, 2015. I made $30,000. Right. Not a lot of money. Okay. Not to mention that my father still trying to take care of him. And there were $7,000 or so in medical bills every month to take care of him because he was a quadriplegic. Okay. So $30,000 was not going to do that. All right. And so then I implemented some things, changed some things in my business model. And then the next year, 18 months later, I was doing six figures. Okay. So how do I do six figures? So I went from six figures. And so I think I went from $30,000 a year to a $26,000 a month to a $60,000 a week to a $50,000 a day. That's how it went. That happened over a period of 4 or 5 years. So how did I go from $30,000 a year to $50,000 a day? Here's how to do it, right? So what I just did was I just told you a story about the steps to grow your brand. Okay? Now, there's a totally different story if I want you to become a content creator, right? I would tell the story about me getting writing for Essence Magazine, and then I wrote an article. The article went viral, and then the producers at TD Jakes saw the article, and then I ended up on a show, and that was about my content. So if I were selling content, I would tell you that story. Okay, so I've just told you 2 stories that mapped back to 2 services that I offer. That's how, as coaches and consultants and experts, that is how you do your brand story. So think about those chapters in your story, right? You've probably got 2, 3, 4 different stories. All of those should map back, right? Should map back to what you're offering. Okay, so I know this is like revolutionary stuff, blah, 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 blah. So my client, Dr. Chantrice Holloman. So Dr. Chantrice went through something. She, had a heart attack, it was like a widowmaker. It was unexpected. And then she had some complications while she was in the hospital. Anyway, she ended up being a double amputee, right? So she tells this story. And people are mesmerized. Like, how did you do this? You went from being an avid runner to being a double amputee, right? And then the next thing you know, she's inspiring people. She's saying, you can walk in your own path, even with no legs. She's got this amazing message out there. She's done TED Talk. And what does she do now? She teaches people resilience, right? Her story leads people back to her service offering of resilience, right? So a lot of you are just out here telling your story, right? I'm out here telling my story. I just want people to know. I just want people to share. I want people to heal and heal your goddamn pockets, okay? That's what we need to be doing. We need to be telling these stories, right? So we can grow our brand. Again, I'm here to help you make a bankable brand. That means money in your bank account. Okay, so we've got it. Let's do a quick recap of what I've talked to you about today. So first and foremost, right, you need to tell your story to build trust and to build authenticity. Second of all, your story is a book that has chapters. And so you have to tell the chapter that ties back to what you're selling. Make sense? Make sense? Okay, got it. Got it. See what I did there? All right, guys. So this is awesome. If you don't already know, you can go and find my contact information. Check all below, all the contact information. So there's a few ways you can get in touch with me. There's going to be all the ways you can get in touch with me. You can follow me on all these social media channels. And I highly recommend that you join the Brand and Hustle community. The link is also below this video. You want to join the community because I do all kinds of cool things every week in the group, like this little mini training that you just went to. So anyway, I got to get out of here because actually I'm headed to a speaking engagement. Hope you love it. and I'll catch you guys on the flip side.